Hi, everybody, and welcome to episode 30 of the Fiber and Dice podcast, which will be called Disney Eve.
Yay!
It's really Disney Eve because we don't actually leave for Disney till Saturday, but we leave tomorrow to go to Lubbock, where we're flying out of. So for us, it's Disney Eve. It's our last night home, last day here to do stuff. So I'm going to get our last podcast of February filmed. I have the engineer with me again because he knows what we're backing on Kickstarter much better than I do.
Also, he thought that today was the day before Disney and was going to tweet that, and then was very disappointed when that was not the case.
It is not actually
I still have
Disney
to go to work tomorrow.
I didn't say it was Disney Eve. It was not my fault.
No, that was totally me.
But all the boys in our house thought that today was Friday, and it was not. So,
Yeah.
It's
Thursday.
The children are laughing in the background. In theory, they are going to play quietly in their rooms and get ready for bed themselves.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
there will probably not be any show notes this week, with a few very small exceptions. We will post things we talk about to Kickstarter, and the item that I have in Geek Sprinkles, and the winner of the prize in the actual. I said that totally wrong.
The Fiber Dice Challenge. Yes?
No, I don't know.
No, Christine's.
Things that are very Harmonize. That's the word I'm looking for. Things that are important for you to know, I will post in the thread, like in the first post of the thread for episode number 30. So, but I am not going to stay up, and I'm not going to ask the engineer to stay up tonight and make show notes because we are going to play board games before we go to bed, in theory. Or we may just watch Friends.
Maybe.
And eat ice cream. So,
Both good choices.
both good choices. I very much want to finish all 10 of our 10 this month, but there are 2 left, and I'm almost done, and one of them is worker placement. Yeah. I'm not sure I'm up to worker placement. We've been arguing with insurance about prescriptions for 6 days now, and I'm done. It has fried my brain. Hi, Sophronia. You just come say hi? Come here, Miss Sophs. You come say hello? You want to co-host with us? Okay, so this week, Peaks. Sophronia is going to co-host. Doesn't she look thrilled to be here? She's very baffled because this is her favorite sleeping spot, and now all my stuff is in it. Obviously, a peak is that we are headed to Disney, and we are very excited about that. And I'm ready to have the getting ready and traveling done with, and just to be there and play for a week. So. The other thing that I am very excited about is the very first Kickstarter that we ever backed. I think so. Am I right? If I'm not, you can tell me.
I'm not sure. It was really early.
I think it's the very first one we ever backed. It was for Geeky Sprinkles. And they came today, and I am so excited. We had to have sundaes. I didn't eat one yet, but the children did. So these are by Geeky Hostess, and we got steampunk sprinkles. We got lightning bolt sprinkles, all Harry Pottery, and Pikachu. And we got police box sprinkles, because who doesn't want to eat the doctor? Who doesn't want TARDIS sundaes? And we got, I think these were a bonus. I think she added them as a...
They were a stretch goal.
Yeah.
That once it got far enough, she was asking for new ideas, and
Meeple Sprinkles won. You know, I have a soft spot for meeples. So, I'm very excited about those. There will be much ice cream sundaes and cupcake decorating in the future. So that's my peak of the week. Pitfalls. I have almost nothing to show you. The last few days have been so very busy. I didn't podcast last week at all because I had literally nothing to show you. Nothing. My hands have been stupid for 3 weeks now. And I've not been able to spin it all. I've knit a little bit. I'm really disappointed. And then the last few days I haven't done anything because we have just been packing and getting ready and trying to finish a week of school and argue with insurance companies and all those things. So that's my pitfall this week. Nothing to show for this week. We have a prize winner for the Harmonize shawl pattern by Christine, KDLB. And it's the Harmonize pattern. I don't have it with me. I'm sorry, I don't have a picture of it. But the winner of that, the engineer rolled a die, 1 through, it was a D8. I think the entries were 2 through 7. I don't know. Number 2-1. It is Julie Arnett's. Julie, since I am leaving town, I will let Christine know that you won. And I'm sure she will get that pattern to you. And if you want to contact her and tell her thank you, please do. Because it was very sweet of her to give it away on our podcast. Mountain of Conquered Things. Oh my goodness. It was like the most intense week of reading and audiobooking ever in my life. I kid you not. The first thing I finished was The Magician's Land by Lev Grossman, which is the 3rd book in the Magician's trilogy.
Yeah. And
it was so good. One of the best series I have ever read. It is probably it's easy in my top 10. That's about as close to nailing anything down, top 10, top 3 as I ever get, because it's all just, I like it all a lot. This one, I told you I had a real love-hate relationship with the end of book 2, which the engineer finished this week.
Yes.
Because it was very good, but it was hard. I thought the end of the book was very hard. It was not the joyous party that I had been hoping it would be. But this one, I felt very satisfied with the way the series ended. It really felt more like one story in 3 books. They each have their own succinct, clean plot lines, but they're also one story, one complete, well-told story. And I love that in a series. So this was so good. I was like completely captivated. So the other thing I finished, and I am late to the party because like everyone and their dog has already read Ender's Game. But I did not read a whole lot of sci-fi and fantasy when I was younger. And so as an adult, I've been playing catch up a lot. And this finally made the list. And I listened to it on Audible. And it was the special 20th anniversary edition. And I have to tell you, it is a fabulous audiobook. Multiple narrators, all very good, all very well voiced. I don't know, it's probably one of my favorite audiobooks ever. I was just very pleased with how it was done. And it was a fabulous book. It was like top 3, top 5, top 10. It's in there somewhere. But I thought it was amazing. So I think everyone should read it. I have some friends who it's on their high school reading list, and I think it should be, definitely, because it's exceptional book. So that's all in my Mountain of Conquered Things. Have you finished anything you would like to talk about?
Well, I got 2 with the book you just held up. And I'm not taking it with us to Disney because it's kind of big and heavy. So I'm taking my Kindle.
I wouldn't let him start it.
Yeah. She strongly cautioned me against it.
He will not want to stop and walk away for 8 days.
Yeah, I have problems with that.
Even if you didn't have problems with that, which you do, you still wouldn't have wanted to stop for 8 days and then come back to it. Yeah. It's one you need to start and be ready to finish because you're like me.
Based on what's been built up in the first 2 books, that totally makes sense. I don't think I've finished anything else. I started reading Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer. It's part of a Southern Reach that's called the Southern Reach trilogy. And it's kind of a weird future where the southern Gulf Coast is no longer usable by humans. Like they can go in, but then they disappear or weird things happen. And sorry. But it's a trilogy of its own. So I'm reading that on Kindle.
I've never been this quiet on my own podcast before. It's a Geekling. This is my 12-year-old Geekling. I don't know if he's ever been on my podcast before. You want to come say hi, buddy?
Hi.
Hi.
But as soon as we get back, I am going to be reading The Magician's Land. So
Go back to bed. Like, for reals. Go back to bed.
Mhm.
In my finest moment of Jedi mind parenting ever, I have convinced them that the lower levels of Khan Academy are a fun treat to play at bedtime. So they're reviewing all their basic math skills as a game. I think I should probably feel guilty about this, but I don't. They have filled in so many little holes of things that they missed or that they just don't remember by going back and doing all those baby maths. Please stop talking. So, that is all the Mountain of Conquered things. Climbing the mountain. All I have to show you is the progress I've made on my Harmonize. And I have to tell you, this is an amazing pattern. If you did not win it, but said you wanted to get it, you need to go and get it. It is great. If you did not enter, you still need to go and get it. It is great. It is very well written. It's very easy to follow. It is crystal clear. The pictures on it are beautiful. And it is making a gorgeous cowl. I'm doing the long length, which is, I don't know how long that actually is. But I've gotten through, it's called a Harmonize shawl cowl. Harmonize cowl. Because it harmonizes not only beautiful colors and variegated yarn, although it would look pretty in any kind of yarn, but it harmonizes the stockinette section with the shaping with the lace section that's coming up next. And it's been the perfect conversation knitting ever. Christine talks about conversation knitting on her podcast a lot, and she designed, okay, this one's really ugly. We're not going to talk about the fact that I had 8 extra stitches in one 24-stitch section. And it was 2 o'clock in the morning, so I didn't do anything to fix it but knit 4s together. But other than that one section, it's looking great. The yarn is by Sheep Spot. The colorway is Be Mine. It is on, I have no idea what base. It's whatever came in the kit. Again, I have nothing in front of me. I've been packing all day. But I wanted to show this off because it's just gorgeous. And I love the way that it's working up. I didn't know how these colors, they're all beautiful, but I had no clue how they were going to work up together. And it just couldn't be better. I really did want this to wear at Disney. And I'm very, very sad that it didn't work out. But I know it will be waiting here for me. I'm taking multiple balls of sock yarn to knit Hermione's Everyday Socks from memory. Nothing that involves thought or patterns, just socks. So that's all I have climbing the mountain this week. I hope, really, really hope when I talk to you guys after Disney that I'll have some stuff to show you because, I mean, we talk about games a lot. We're a gamey, geeky podcast, but hello, I'm first and foremost a Fiber World podcaster, and it bums me out not to be in the Fiber World.
You got a lot of knitting done last time on the buses.
I did. I did knit on the buses. If my fingers will not be stupid,
yeah,
then I will have lots of sock progress probably. So, okay, that brings us to Gamerly News and Ducks in a Row. They kind of go together this week because I'm just sticking Ducks in a Row in Gamerly News. So, Gamerly News, first and foremost, do not forget that it is about to wrap up your chance to enter things for 2x2 for February of 2015. Again, we keep him around for all the best things like numbers and facts. So by the time this goes live, you only have 1 or 2 days to finish those up. Get in there and finish them and post them to Instagram. It will also be the end of the first 2 months of this year. So you will be out 2 months of time for 10 by 10 in 2015. So get in there and work on those. Get those games played. And I will be, I'm going to really try to look Sunday morning, March 1st. March 1st. Yes. That is the first day of the month. Shocking, I know. I'm going to look March 1st before we head into the parks to see where the line is, like what the last entry was for the Fiber and Dice Challenge. If I have not been clear before, the only Instagram challenge that you need to have fiber in the picture of is the Fiber and Dice Challenge. That is for gaming with knitting. That's the whole purpose of that, is to do these two things together. I know, because there are quite a few games that we play, that not all games are appropriate for knitting. And a lot of those games end up on 2x2s and 10x10s because they're great intense games that we want to learn more about, or we want to learn about to begin with. So do not feel like to enter a picture for Fiber and Dice 2x2 or Fiber and Dice 10x10 that you have to have fiber in that picture. All you have to do is tag it. It needs to be on the list. Tag it. It does not have to have fiber in those pictures. I see you. The camera does actually show me what's behind me. Go to bed.
One more question.
No, I will be done in just a couple minutes.
No, that is for the podcast.
It's not for the podcast. If you would like to ask questions about the podcast, you may give me a proposal of those before I start filming next time. Yes, ma'am. Also remember that we have added a prize for the actual hashtag Fiber and Dice contest, that I will send you a picture of my fiber stash and let you pick something out of it, and I will spin it for you as one of the prizes. I'll draw a prize winner for that. And that there will be a drawing for Fiber and Dice on the first episode of the next month. The first March episode, I will draw for the February winner. And next month, we have a whole new segment and a new giveaway. And I am so excited. Like, this was the best thing that happened to me today, but I'm not going to talk about it any more than that until next episode, because my children are clearly restless and I need to finish up. So, what's on tap?
Wrong podcast.
Wrong podcast. That would be the Hops and Hanks podcast with Amelia. What are we kickstarting? That would be the question I'm asking you, good sir.
We are kickstarting a handful of things, and we're including one that Rebecca's sister is kickstarting. And I have a list somewhere.
We will put all of these in the thread for episode 30, Disney Eve.
Yes. The first one is the Kickstarter I could not remember the name of last time. We called it Fruit Dice, or Diced Fruit is what we called it. And it is actually Floating Market, a game of diced fruit.
We got close.
But it's still worker placement with extra dice rolling to kind of mess with the locations. That one ends March 10th. Gondola, which is basically, it's a smaller race style game where you're all in gondolas and you're going around the canals of Venice. And that one ends on March 4th. So if you want to get in on that, and it was fairly low price too. So if you want to get in on that, probably need to check that right after you see this. And then the next two aren't games, but they are things to kind of enhance your game if you want to make it nice and fancy. The first one is called Halsey's Dice. It doesn't end until March 21st, so you got a little while to go. But they are selling some very nice looking dice that are half one color, half another. And they are kind of fantasy themed, at least the initial sets, and then they're unlocking more stretch goals as they go. But there's like a mithril and an adamantine, and there's another one that's a fantasy metal that I should know that I'm not coming up with.
For shame.
Yes. But so, and they look really nice, and they run about the same as what a normal set of multi-sided polyhedral dice would from Chessex or one of the other companies. It's like,
They're
I think
really
$12
pretty.
a set.
Did you skip the one above it?
Yes, I was going to come back to that one. The last
They
one.
saved this one for me. I don't think I ever thought I would be saying these words ever in my life, much less on my podcast that hundreds of people will watch and will be recorded for all time's sake. We as a family, all four of us went together, pooled our money to back unicorn poo.
They are little
They are
people-sized
so cute.
rainbow swirls.
And they have glitter.
And oh, go ahead.
They're meant to replace. There's a large poo and a small poo.
They're meant to replace meeples in worker placement games or stand in as enemies in different adventure board games. Basically, just swap them out for whatever your other normal pieces
Gaming
would
pieces
be.
are.
And so you get one big or one small, and I think the set we did was
Five big and 10 little.
Sounds right.
We did decide to back one set for $15 as a family because 60 unicorn poo just seemed really excessive. Like 15 unicorn poo makes total sense for a family of 4, but 60 unicorn poo was a little much. What would we ever do with 60 unicorn poos? But they are very cute, and we had a really good laugh about it. And he even says, why Kickstarter? And he was like, because really, what company is going to pick this up? And with that kind of attitude, I can't help it. It's like, that's like, take my money.
Yeah. I mean, he's serious about the campaign, but he's also
realistic that, hello, we're marketing unicorn poo. Yeah. So that was fun. So go back unicorn poo.
Yeah, it also ends March 4th. So it's
back it tonight, tomorrow, before March 4th.
The next one that we're not backing this year, because her sister backed a similar one last year, is Character Meeples from Meeple Source. And they do all sorts of very nice meeples of various styles and designs, and they'll have knights and princesses and dragons and zombies and skeletons. And
my favorite from the last one was Germ Meeples. And it's a set that replaces all of your characters and all of the little square viruses and germs from Pandemic. And they are so cute. There's one in my Instagram feed somewhere.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to say about it? If you do, I'll look for that picture.
Basically, okay. So they're doing that set again. They also have sets of decorated meeples in sets of colors for Agricola and Caverna and Lords of Waterdeep. There were a couple other ones that didn't just jump out at me as initially recognizable. But so they're supporting those for all various games. They're all there on the page, and you can go and look and see. And but they all look great, and we had a lot of fun playing with her sister's virus meeples in Pandemic.
They are also way fun for kids with imaginations. Our kids like to take meeples and tell all sorts of stories with them.
Yeah. Also, the Pandemic board and running Amazing Race on it, and that leads to hilarity.
It is so funny.
Morbidness. But,
they're running Amazing Race challenges on Pandemic with all the made-up characters and all the evils that they face, and it's too much.
Yeah.
So that's what we are backing or thinking about backing or have backed previously and been pleased with. Here it is. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but adorable little deadly viruses that will eat your face off and kill you.
Yeah. I think we lost that game.
We did lose that
game. I think the purple disease killed us.
Which are the cutest. It's always the cute ones. Oh. Always the cute ones. My apologies to everyone who I just deafened. So sorry. Okay, so that just leaves for this week, because there's no game of the week, Ducks in a Row, which is traveling with games. Obviously, this is relevant to us because we are headed to Disney. Usually, when I travel with games to game weekends, I get a laundry basket and I stack everything we might ever want to play in it, and I load it in the trunk, and then I unload it and put everything back on the shelf when we get home. Easy peasy. But we're flying to Disney. And I know that in reality, in the real world, we are probably not going to spend the whole week gaming. We are paying a small fortune to go and be at Disney. But we also have ice, so I am terrified that we're going to get stuck in the airport for like 4 zillion hours. It's another cat. Hi, Kitty Tesla. Like she's going to sit there.
She might. Nope, she won't.
Idiot. I say that with all the most muscle. So first would be obviously games that are just packed well to travel with. This is the bag that's going in the engineer's bag. We have Harbor, which we backed on Kickstarter. Eggs and Empires, which we backed on Kickstarter. Tiny Epic Kingdoms, which we backed on Kickstarter. And Of Mice and Lemmings, which, ironically enough, are you ready? Wait for it.
We backed on Kickstarter.
We backed on Kickstarter. So those are his bag has plenty of room, his carry-on. We can be content in the airport for like 20 hours.
Yeah.
And just because I wanted to see how much I could pack in one Ziploc bag, that was my goal. So, what is in this Ziploc bag I'm holding is this stack of games that Charles has in his hand. I appreciate the boxes. I love to look at them on my shelf. When we are playing our games on a regular basis, they are pretty and they are fun and they take very good care of our pieces. For taking to Disney in a carry-on, not so much. So this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games plus a set of dice to play Farkle with and Love Letter. Of course, Love Letter is the perfect travel game. It is perfect. So, I think the best example of this is Machi Koro. Would you grab both Machi Koro boxes? Machi Koro, I will say for them, one of the things I love about their box is that the original box was made for the expansions to fit into. So this box fits very comfortably the contents in this little Ziploc bag. All the cards, all of the monies. So that all of that fits in here means that there's lots of room in here for the expansions. So we got one of the expansions, and it fits in this bag, which would have fit in that bag, but no, too much work.
It comes in a box
This size, and it fits in this little thing. So for travel, do not be afraid to pull your games out of boxes. Pina Parada, snug down to this little bag. Oh, Pairs. Pairs is also in there because
deck of cards.
Because Pairs, deck of cards. Werewolf. Again, teeny tiny, all fits neatly in the bag. And Sushi Go. I will say that Sushi Go did not shrink very much, except that it's really not much taller. So half. It shrunk down half.
Yeah, this box is about 2 decks of cards side by side.
So, do I want to forever store my games like this? No. Do I want to throw out my boxes? Bite your tongue. That is heresy. In fact, we've combined all of our Lord of the Rings living card games into 2 boxes. I'll show you those sometime. They are gorgeous.
Yeah, that's a stack of, well, the boxes that they all shipped in would be quite the stack.
It is. It's a huge stack. And we kept them all in a nice, safe place in the garage because I'm never throwing those boxes out. They are gorgeous. The artwork is beautiful. So, games. Travel with them. Play with them. Enjoy them. I will let you know next time if we spend the night in Germany. My family went to Adriatic cruise earlier this year, and they ended up having to spend the night in Germany. Then they were not planning to. In the Frankfurt airport. Somewhere that they had not planned to stay. So I have adopted the phrase being prepared to spend the night in Germany because I have little children, and if we get stuck in the airport for 4 or 5 hours before we get on an airplane, it's going to be ugly if I'm not ready. So, all the games. Pack all the games. I think that's all I have.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about the noise. Lord willing and the creek don't rise. I will see you guys in March. Bye.
Bye.